This video is going to show you yet another solo GM conquest, that being Glassway, the second conquest of this season. I covered all of these conquests solo wise in previous videos. I've covered Fallen Saber, now we move on to Glassway. I've received many reports of this one being a very tough one and people having a lot of issue with it, even in a fire team of 3. I ran it solo today very easily. This was a very easy run to me. This felt like a base strike to me. It really didn't even feel like anything. So listen closely to the details and we'll go through exactly everything, moment to moment gameplay throughout the entire run, with free-thought improvised commentary right the way throughout it, telling you everything that you need to know about this GM and why it isn't that hard. So if we go on to the mods, I'm going to run through them and then I'll point out the main things about this. Fire team power boost and disabled, time bonus, no radar, limited revive. Equipment locked, brawn, glass cannon, special ammo farming, avant-garde, scourge 3, galvanized 2, deadly combatants at overload and barrier, vex shocker, hot step, threads and caltrop banes, and finally match game. In key important parts, brawn is on, glass cannon is on, and special ammo is decreased. Avant-garde means edge of fate based stuff only, in this case for conquests. And match game is on. But what I will tell you is glass cannon and brawn, they counteract each other, meaning that you don't really feel the glass cannon modifier. Because brawn is on, you get a lot more health, but it does not regenerate at its normal rate. Therefore, you need HP in your kit. No matter what build you run to solo this, you should be having something on that gives you health back. Once you do that and overcome that hill, you will realize how easy, in actual fact, this GM is. So match game's on, but I didn't feel it in the run at all because I've got all my elements covered in this, in actual fact. And there's not many elemental shields in this. There are a few, but not enough to think about. So don't worry that match game is on. Do not be frightened or scared of match game. So that's the modifiers. Just one little thing. There is now a new YouTube mechanic called Hype. And don't worry, there's no money involved, but if you feel as though you want to hype any of my videos that you're impressed with, then you can, and it helps me out tremendously on how that you hype a video up. If you go to comments and swipe right on your mobile phone, it will come up with hype, and it allows you to hype the video. That hype mechanic has been helping me out for the last few weeks, and I haven't really known too much about it. But I'm just making you aware of it. If you want to hype any of my videos, it doesn't have to be this one. Any of them at all. There's no money involved. Don't worry. But it does help me out massively, all right? I've been hyping up other content creators, and YouTube's been notifying me saying you've helped out massively, getting them more views and all this stuff. It's a massive new mechanic for YouTube, and it's probably a win. Like I say, I'm just making you aware of it. If you want to hype any of my videos up, you can. It's a new YouTube mechanic. Alright, you've had the mods. So remember, you need to have some sort of health kit. Now, I'm just going to go with what I ran on my last solo conquest. The reason for that is as simple as follows. I am depleting fast on my unstable cores. Because I'm trying to do many different builds in the game. I'm trying to play all builds on all characters. I'm starting to have a massive amount of unstable cores depletion, right? This needs fixing at some point, right? Hold Bungie accountable for things. Unstable cores, the material is very unfair and needs to be limited. There's no way that it should cost 12,000 cores to get one weapon from 10 power to 450 or 550 or whatever, or 500, sorry. Yeah, this is ridiculous. The unstable cores, they need to change this. I can't believe it's this bad. Once you get a 500 power plus and you want to start playing the game with different weapons, the game just says no because it's very costly and it is very limiting, right? So I'm just explaining to you that is bad. So we are just running this, but it's extremely good in Glassway. It's incredibly good, this. In my opinion, this is probably the best Conquest build in the game. And when I say a Conquest build, I mean that builds that are Edge of Fate featured only, and then can only be used with Avant-Garde. In my opinion, this is probably the best that you can run in a solo Conquest. Yeah, even better than Consecration Titan, because it's simple. You can't use class items in Conquests. And the Warlock has an exotic that sort of saves the build without having to use an exotic class item. That being Felwinter's Helm, it debuffs entire rooms. It's incredibly powerful. Warlocks, honestly, it's better than all Stasis turret builds, in my opinion. It's just that strong. It's incredibly potent. I wouldn't just say that it was, because I ran through this Conquest like a miniature strike with this build. It is a Lightning Surge build, Song of Flame, Phoenix Dive, Arcane Needle so that you get 3 melees, Cold Snap Grenade because it's extremely powerful now. It's just a very good utility grenade. You could run Healing Nade instead, but I didn't feel like I needed that. You could also run Storm Grenade, which is nice, but I mean, you don't need it. I like just Cold Snap, alright? Lightning Surge, Feed the Void, so Lightning Surge build. Facet of Ruin, Facet of Dominance, Facet of Dawn, Facet of Courage, Facet of Purpose. Reason behind each. Facet of Ruin will buff Cold Snap, it will buff Song of Flame, it will buff so much for you. So Stasis Shatter, oh, it also buffs the Nade. So look at that, it's buffing 3 things. Any Stasis or any Ignitions in Prismatic Kits on any build in any universe at all, you should always run Facet of Ruin. And it's plus 10 weapon stat. Facet of Dominance works with Freeze and Singularity. I hope you haven't missed that detail. Facet of Dawn for Radiant. Facet of Courage, well, it buffs my other abilities, right, with Darkness debuff. Facet of Purpose for Orbs, I'm going to get Restoration. That's amazing. On a Brawn GM, it's amazing being able to have Devour and Restoration and a melee-centric build. Here's the armor mods, not too much to tell you about it, other than make sure you run Scavs, because Famine is on. So rock Scavs, you should always be rocking them anyways. Rock, probably a Void Resistant, a Solar Resistant, a Concussive Damner. This will spec for the final boss. You're going to think, well, I probably should have an Arc Surge on an Arc Resistant. You don't need Arc. You mow through the fallen enemies, you don't need it. Spec for the final boss, don't spec for the fallen enemies, because there are no fallen enemies at the final boss. Alright, that's the main information about that. Coming on to weapons, now this is very important, and there's many different weapon combinations you can use, but remember, Famine is on, special ammo Famine is on, but we can bypass and cheat the system by simply using a Sharp Harvest Sword. I recommend Aurora Dawn over the Solar Sword, Seancia. The reason being is because Cold Steel is invaluable against Overload champions. It is Overload Sword, yes, but you'll get Elemental Daze to proc with Cold Steel, right, on Overloads. Very good, and it does other things for us. Sharp Harvest is going to generate a lot of special ammo, bypassing Famine modifiers. Those nasty Famine modifiers can be beaten by simply using a Sharp Harvest Sword. Quite have one, because I couldn't think of what else to use as an exotic in my special slot, because it's Edge of Fate based, and quite a one just works in this. It's Overload Auto Rifle as well, and it's literally one of the best weapons in the game, so I figured I would use that. I want to use the bow. I don't want to use Mint Retrograde. Are you going to make me use Mint Retrograde? Because you're not making me use it, son. I want to use something else, and I want to use Mercury here, and it is incredibly, incredibly powerful. This is an endgame bow, right? I think a lot of you don't like it because you don't play endgame. Just putting it out there, there's no way that you don't think that this bow is good. And if you think it's bad, it's because you're uninformed. Let the run prove to you that this bow is S+. It is unbelievably powerful, right? It really is. I'll show you the strats revolving around it. Artifact mods, what's important? I'm not going to tell every mod, just what's important. Barrier bow, Overload sword, Overload auto rifle, Scav discount. One with Frost, Frost Renewal, Favor and Chill works with the sword, and you do get Frost Armor. You still get Frost Armor with Aurora Dawn with these three. Elemental Daze is always nice against champions. Semi-Auto Striker will keep giving me armor charges when I use a bow. I keep getting infinite armor charges on crit. and I'm using a bow. This is nice. Maybe don't use Argent Quiver. I haven't seen an argument to use this, and you lose a lot of armor charges fast. So in other words, what I'm saying to you is, just use it. Just use what I've got. Iron Lord's Vigor gives us DR, and it gives us ammo back. And Shield Crush is a very nice modifier as well, obviously, to always have on. Let me just say, did I have a melee font? Oh, yeah, thank God I did have a melee font. So basically, I'm going to keep getting my armor charges, which means melee fonts, which means extra stat distribution on melee. Quick stat distribution for this, simple. Melee, super, weapons. Melee, super, weapons. Melee, and finally, melee, super, and weapons. That is literally it. That the set is Paragon. Hang on, have I got it on? I haven't got it on. I've scammed you. Right, it's that one there. Paragon Armorer. Right, Paragon Armorer. They buffed this. Bungie buffed the drop rates of all that stuff on Ghost. Target focusing for armor. So that is all the information on this. On with the run. Okay, so on with that all-important run. Spawn your skimmer, sparrow, whatever you've got for traversal for getting yourself around in this game. Just summon that vehicle, and if you are using a skimmer though, you can actually, it's actually nice because you can do a little thing where you bypass this little rock. You can do it on a sparrow, but it's more awkward. I'm just saying that you can do that. This is nice though. It allows you to instantly kill this first Overlord champion. Look, we can get a head on him, right? Stun him quickly. Although he did TP out my port, out my Overlord stun, but I still got him. Remember, it's Overlord sword, so we're stunning with Overlord here. I'm going to use a bit of Quiet of One as well with the hipfire. Yeah, look at health, look at Prox Ward. By the way, Prox Ward is very good in this run because we're doing lots of finisher kills. Remember, Felwinter's Helm will debuff and blind enemies on finisher. Try and finisher kill all your champions, or as much as you can when there's lots of ads around. Right? Now we're just going to do our bow. Check left hand side. Have I got Devour? I have not. I have not got Devour, but I have got Restoration. That's just one thing to take note. Try and get out of that little engagement with Devour, but it's not the end of the world, is it? Devour will top up your health, but remember with Brawn, you've got more health points. And Brawn GMs incentivize you to use melee builds, because that's what Bungie's saying to you. If you ever see any conquest with Brawn on it, which by the way, I think every single one of them has Brawn on it, they want you to use a melee-based build. Honestly, I'm being serious. I think every single conquest has Brawn on. I'll have to double-check it. Someone can double-check it. I'll tell you what, I'm doing too much. You go and check the mods. I'm pretty sure every single GM conquest has Brawn on it, which is bad. That's not good. What's the point having every conquest with Brawn on it? But it does. It's on there. Just check it out. You'll see it. Right. Kill out all the wretches. Get rid of the wretches first. Right. And then you want to get a stun before the Overlord de-aggros. Don't let him de-aggro to the back of the map because you want to kill him here if you can. It's not the end of the world, but do not let the barrier champ will tether the Overlord. Do not let that happen. That is the biggest threat here. But other than that, you're good. Then we're going with a Lightning Surge. Now watch this. Watch this strat. It's called the Hipfire Tremendous Mercury Air Kinetic Tremor King strat. This barrier doesn't know what day it is. No, son, it's not Wednesday yet. Your grandmother servant is not coming around for tea today. It's Monday. She's not due to come for another 2 days. Look at that. Because you can hip fire the bow and make a tremendous amount of orbs with attrition orbs. Now watch this. Remember, this is Conquest. We go in with a Transcendence. The Overlord spawns behind this rock. Yeah, you can play aggressive like this. You're allowed to. Brawn is on. Yeah, it's incentivizing you to do it. Try to limit your range gameplay at times. Don't play too much range gameplay. Because the bow can be used long range or CQC. Like, look at this. Hipfire, hipfire, hipfire. Look at that. And we're debuffing everything. I want to finish a kill this champ. I'm going to pop a super now. Because I want to use my super for this guy. Because I just want to get rid of him, right? We can go in with sword to generate special. But I've got max special. So I should be swapping to Quiet of One now. Because basically the idea of this is spam Quiet of One, then use the sword to replenish Quiet of One ammo. And that philosophy can be used for Mint Retrograde runs as well. I could have easily ran Mint Retrograde in this, but I don't want to use Mint Retrograde in this. I want to use the bow, and that's it. Now remember, combat fatigue is on the right hand side, but it's cancelled out by Brawn. Brawn cancels that out. I don't know who fought through some of these mods. They're questionable on these conquests. They are questionable at times. Like, why is Glass Cannon on and why is Brawn on together? Because they cancel each other out. You're very tanky in this. Yeah, you're very tanky in this because of Brawn. So Glass Cannon is a non-factor mod, is what I'm saying. Get a Cold Snap in right away, and then we're going to go Lightning Surge. Now, the barrier will not spawn in yet, so you want to kill this Overlord as soon as, right? Get a finisher kill on him to debuff the room. That debuffs the room. Then a Transcendence goes in. That's it. Another Lightning Surge. And just keep Lightning Surge the boss. When I think the VIP is killed, the barrier spawns in. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that is actually the case. That's good, though. That means you want to focus mainly on the VIP. Get rid of that VIP. Keep an eye on HP to a degree, but, you know, you are going to get the Brawn modifier to proc with the attrition heal and thing. Barrier needs to be focused on this phase. Yeah, Transcendence has run out. I get weak-ish, but we're all right because we've got more Lightning Surges and I debuff the champion. Boom, that's all adds de-aggroed. Yeah, there we go. Look at that clear very quickly. Yeah, this isn't... we're not playing like the old school 2020 days. We're not playing like Beyond Light days. If you just remember with GM, Glassway, when it first came out, there's no way we was clearing this in 20 minutes solo. It just wasn't happening. In actual fact, the average solo GM for Glassway was 1 hour and 30 minutes. Let that sink in, people. I fought through the fires and wars. I fought wars in the rings. I fought wars in the ring. Solo GMs, 90 minutes and stuff. A lot of yous lot would have heart attack if you heard that. There's no way I can solo this in 90 minutes. It's too long. My attention disorder will kick in if I have to do that long. No way. I want to solo GM to be 20 minutes. That's the philosophy now. That's what you want. That's what you asked for. Hey, that's what the game is now. That's fine. It can be whatever it'll be. I'm fine. I want you to have more fun than me. Yeah, I'm very selfless that way. You have the fun. This opens up GMs more to people. More people are allowed to solo them. It's not like the old days where we were stuck in like a dungeon of just like 5 players in the whole world that could solo GMs. It's not like that anymore. Which, by the way, there was a time when that was a thing. If you remember Corrupted GM, you remember that only so many players soloed it the first, I don't know, a few weeks. In actual fact, there was only Esotric and another guy that soloed it. Armin GT and Esotric. They were the only 2 solos at that time. 2 people in the world. Don't argue it, because I was there. I remember. Transcendence pop here. We're going for the Overlord. We need to get a stun on him, which obviously Lightning Surge will jolt. I forgot to mention that, but I assume that you know that it will jolt, which therefore stuns Overlords. Which therefore, that's why it's very good for just defending yourself. So he not only is like melee builds right now meta, but they're also good for like aggressive gameplay and defensive gameplay, believe it or not. If you need to defend a small zone, then a highly aggressive prismatic build of any sort is probably the best defense that we have in the game right now. It really is, yeah. Even more so than Bolt Charge Titan, although Bolt Charge Titan has a lot of other benefits that some prismatic builds don't have. There's pros and cons to everything in the game, but I'm just explaining to you. If you ever have to fight in a small room with lots of ads, yeah, prismatic is always king for that. Prismatic melee builds on any class at all. Right, defending the cap point. Get Devour. Now, important note. If you play this in a fire team, you will get heavy shanks and snipers. If you solo this, you will only get miniature shanks and exploder shanks. There are 2 individual different spawns depending if you are solo or duo or fire team. Well, duo and fire team is the same thing. So, yeah, you understanding that? There's 2 different spawns. So, basically, if you're solo, it's easier because there's no heavy shanks. This has always been like this. I'm just explaining it to you. Get yourself a Devour Chain Kill and use the bow. Use the bow, use the bow. Don't use too much special at the minute because not all the champs have come in yet. The room hasn't started, although you're going to get plenty of special, I suppose. But, you know, either or. You can use a bit of Choir. I mean, Choir is very good on ammo capacity. That's what makes it so great. Not only is it like an all-round weapon, it's very good on ammo as well. Yeah, that's another reason why I chose it. There we go. Shanks go down, plate is capped. Get a cold snap on this overload ASAP. Because you want to push up. Don't play from range too much. You get punished. Unless you've got a Devour Chain Kill, you get punished. Get the overload down and then start working. Don't be frightened to push up. Those attrition orbs pop. A healing orb occasionally pops off ads, and you guarantee get them on VIPs and stuff, Ultra Bars, Champions, etc. Right? So it's in your interest to push up. We're on a build to do that, right? We're on a build to just do that. And look at my health, by the way, in this run. Barely getting tickled at times. There was only a few occasions when my shield broke. Maybe we can have a little contest here. How many times did my shield break in this run? Is anyone clever enough to work it out? Let's see if anyone can actually count that up. I doubt anyone can. I doubt you're that keen for the run. But we'll see. See if somebody works it out. I don't even know myself. I'm just making a little challenge up on the fly here. Right, Super Song of Flame. Save it for the barrier. The barrier is the critical part. It's not that he's difficult, but if you have a Song of Flame on, he's a non-factor. He won't tether the ads. So just look. Break his shield. Debuff the room. Again, get into that playstyle of Fellwinter by debuffing rooms. The radius is larger if you finish ads. I think that's still the same mechanic. Because obviously Fellwinter's got a bit of a rework. I think if it's a champ or a VIP, the blind and radius is still larger than a Red Bar's finisher kill, right? Right, use a bit of Choir 1 here or bow, up to you. There's a lot of snipers up top, but that's alright. That's what you got Choir on for. If you've still got Devour Chain, you're good. Always check that left-hand side. When you're playing from a range, always check that. Just so that you're comfortable from playing from range to still get some health back while you fight snipers. Get rid of all the ads. Ammo check. Ammo think as well. Now, I think there is heavy ammo back there. And I probably should go for it. Because my ammo is a bit low there. But look at my heavy ammo progress. I'm close to a brick. So watch. We get a brick off one of these Red Bars. Watch it. There you go. So I know there's a brick over there. I've got Stasis Scavenger on. To get more ammo. Is it more ammo per brick now? Or is it just more? No, it's more progress to the ammo bar, isn't it? It's more progress to the ammo bar. But basically run scavs. In ammo farming activities, you should always rock a scav. Because technically that's more damage than running a surge, isn't it? Think about it. Surge is bigger number, but less ammo. So it all depends on how long the activity is, right? This is why I don't run many surges. I do when I don't. But think about it. If you're soloing something for 30 minutes and there's plenty of champions, a scavenger will have your ammo go further. In this case, it's ammo progress, but you know, you get the point. Right, stand here, left-hand side. This is a foolproof strat. Pretty much anyone can do this. You just need to follow the rules. Yeah? Overlord's going to push you. He didn't push right away, but I'm going to aggro him. Transcendence goes in, and then we're going to Lightning Surge, sword him. But not sword too much, we're going to manage that ammo. Yeah, we've got healthy sword ammo, but if we only spam sword ammo, we'll eventually start to deplete ammo for the entire run. So manage the ammo, right? We've got a Transcendence anyway, so we can just kill him with Lightning Surge, really. Debuff them if there's any other ads still left alive. I'm going to debuff this Hydra. Yeah? I'm going to use a bit of Choir. I need to be using a bit more Choir than what I am. Because obviously I'm going to get that ammo back. Yeah. But I'm also thinking about... Right, let's do some orb generation here, right? You can generate... I mean, I've got my super. But I can generate a lot of orbs and a lot of Transcendence energy with the bow. Because it's KT. Kinetic Tremors is the king. It's one of the king weapons for getting a lot of Transcendence energy of light and dark variety. Yeah, of light and dark variety. It's unbelievable. Yeah. The only thing beating out KT is Aerodynal GLs for Transcendence energy. Really, that's the only thing that really beats it. Yeah. But we're not using an Aerodynal GL in this sense. I could have done. I could have run Festival Flight. I could have done. But like I told you, I'm using the Mercury Air bow because I want to use it. Just watch how we destroy and control barrier champions coming up. Those two, you get 2 overloads per phase. So that's phase, that's our first phase dealt with, right? Aggro the boss over to this location. My God, is he a bit slow today, this lad. Belmont Transcendent Mind. He had a bit of a lie in this morning because he's taking ages to come round that corner. Generally, he's a little quicker than that. He's sluggish today. I'm being serious. He's a little slower than usual, but that's all right. He's coming now. So now, because we've got Barrier Bow on, we can penetrate Belmont's shield. So we're going to do this. We're going to do the KT bow strat. Yeah, and we're going to do mixing some debuff melees weak choir to speed up the damage a little bit. But look at the damage we're doing. That's very nice damage at this level, at this GM conquest. Very good. Just being able to do that. That's amazingly good. And the boss can't hit me, look. Strafe bow, strafe bow. KT, KT. Every 2 bow shots you will get connect tremors to proc. Well, it takes 2 shots to proc KT. There's an inner cooldown though. Don't forget that. Right, just keep doing your KT bow. Again, use a bit of choir. I could use more than what I've got. Choir will not penetrate shield though, because it's overload auto. But you can whip it out here and there, right? Just manage your ammo and think clearly about how many champions you still need to kill. There's at least 20 champions at this boss fight. Don't forget that, mind you. Yeah? So sword ammo, I'm thinking about sword ammo now. It's too low. My sword ammo is definitely too low right now. So I need to back off sword ammo a little bit and use a bit more quiet and a bit. Look at all those orbs. Look at all those beautiful orbs there. Did you see how many orbs that was? That's got to be 62 orbs right there. There we go. We get this Riven. This is Riven phase. Now listen closely. Same thing. Left hand side. Left hand side. Use choir. Use KT to damage the first Riven you see. Get him half HP if you can. Transcendence now goes in. Yeah, I could pop Song of Flame, but I want to use Song of Flame on the barriers instead. A Transcendence Lightning Surge is enough to kill these Rivens for sure. And they're blinded. They're blinded as well, not to mention. Yeah, extremely good. Now watch this. Watch this closely. We're controlling these 2 barrier champions. I've still got Transcendence. So I'm going to debuff. Phoenix Dive if I need to top that health up. And look, the hip fire shot. The hip fire shot. Because it's not only generating orbs of power, but more importantly, it's generating Transcendence for the next Transcendence pop. You can really strategize this room by using a weapon like this. Look, now look at this. Watch. Again, he thinks his grandmother's coming for tea on Friday and she's not. Because it's only Thursday at the minute. He doesn't know what day it is. So we can just keep doing this. Yeah? He's had a bad night of whatever he's been doing last night. He gets up to all sorts of nasty things, this barrier. He's paid for it today because I've gotten shot of him quickly by just circling, doing the circle and KT bow strat. Very potent, very powerful, and you will keep getting health because of the orbs that drop. Very strong bow, like I'm demonstrating here. So we're just going to keep doing a bit of KT. Look at my ammo now. Heavy ammo, 31, but I'm closer to that next heavy ammo pack. So I am thinking about that. Next phase of ad spawn in. Off the mini Hydra. We go in with a lightning surge. I'm going to pop super this time instead. I'm going to pop a super because the reason being is because I've got a Bane Riven, which is RNG. If you get a Baned Riven, you really need to maybe think about popping a super because they're that much more tanky. A Bane adds, I think, 33% health to a enemy of that target. So Riven red bars are tankier than a standard red bar, and if you make them a Bane, they're 33% stronger. So I pop a super there and react to that momentary situation that happened. Match game is on. We've got arc shields. That's no problem. Because I've got arc surge, I can bypass their shields very quickly. KT can bypass them as well. But I'm going to prep one of the barriers, prep one of them, then go in with a Transcendence, then focus on one of your barriers, right? But you could focus on both. If you were skilled enough with this bow, you could actually. Depends on the positioning of the barriers. But try and focus more on one and get a debuff, because that will debuff the next barrier. Look, there we go. Look, he's debuffed now. Boom. Hip fire shot. Hip fire bow shot. And now I'm thinking about, generating some orbs. Look at this. I got my super back. That's another thing. This bow has incredible, tremendous amount of super regen in it, and Bungie aren't going to nerf this one because they're too fixated on Outbreak Perfected and stuff. For super regen, that is. And what I've noticed is they sometimes forget their legendary counterparts. Like, Bungie is fully aware that you get your super back very quickly off Outbreak, but they're not exactly on point with the legendary counterparts, and they are seems to be more favourable to letting that slide. I am aware that they know about it, but I'm explaining to you is that they're less likely to patch this one because it's a legendary weapon. Do you understand? They're more likely to let that slide, although now if they've watched this video, now they're going to nerf it. So I've knackered it for everybody. Oh well. They're probably not. I'm just messing with you. They ain't going to touch the bow. They've got more things to be thinking about over this bow. Okay? So, and again, melting those overloads, controlling them. This build is very good for just controlling. The sword is very good for control as well. It's definitely better than a machine gun in this. Definitely better than a linear. Although, we do have boom slang with jolting feedback, and it is tremendous. Although, in my opinion, I think this is better, the sword, because it's famine and the linear ammo goes less. A sword ammo will go further than a linear's ammo, right? And you need to defend yourself. A better weapon to defend yourself, especially for Glassway, is a sword. You get frost armor as well, don't forget. Okay, cold snap goes in. Oh, it missed. It tracked the other ads or something. That's fine, I popped a Transcendence anyways. I'm looking to kill this overload and debuff again the room if I can. I mean, I will still debuff with the melee kill. Look at this. Look at the amount of fanatics there. I took no damage off that. So keep going in. A bit of KT. Quick bow string shots. Again, debuff. That's what's so good about it. Coming out of one encounter to the next, to then be in a threatening situation with a barrier or an overload, to then have the entire room debuffed, is extremely potent. Very powerful. Okay, now we come to our DPS spots. Same thing again. Look at this. Pay attention. Bows, or orbs. Orb generation, super regeneration, and transcendence regeneration. This is like 2 builds in one as well, if you think about it. Because I'm rocking a lightning surge build, which is tremendous on that CQC setup. And the bow is tremendous at long distances, which Glassway has a lot of that. And it does DPS against the boss, bypassing his shield. So do you see how we've ticked a lot of boxes here by just doing this? Yeah. See, some of you will make the mistake of running a shotgun on melee builds, and that isn't always something that you should do or need to do. Like, there's no requirement for me to run a 1-2 punch shotgun. I could have done. Yeah, I could have done that alternatively, but like, is there an actual need to do that? Not in this one, there isn't. Sometimes there is a need to put a 1-2 punch shotgun on, but for this run there isn't. There just really isn't. Just look at what's happening here. Transcendence pop on this phase, Riven phase is critical. Save super if you can on barriers, but if one of your Rivens, again, if one of your Rivens is a Bane, then maybe consider popping super, but try and save a super for barriers, because your super is more valuable on those barrier champs. Alright, it is. Whereas your Transcendence is more used for the Rivens, on that particular phase exactly. Now I've initiated the next phase here, which I recommend that you should, because that's going to mean that there's 4 barriers outside, but that's alright. You've got Song of Flame to deal with a lot of stuff. Your main priority right now, though, is those Rivens. So consider trying to kill them with Quiet and hold off on that super if possible. But if you nearly die to them, yeah, pop Song. Because you can always kill the barriers at a later time or date. Yeah, but look, I'm going to go in with the Song of Flame. I'm focusing on one of the barriers. I was a little bit sluggish on that barrier shield break there. But that's okay. I'll go in with the sword here. Try and get a debuff. I've got half of my Song of Flame left. So I'm going to optimize. I'm going to play aggressive. I'm going to still go in with it because look at my HP. I've got so much HP to do this. So look, get a quick stun. And we get 2 barriers with 1 super. That's not too bad. I could have done slightly better on that super pop, but it done its job. I killed 2 barriers. There was 4. Now there's only 2. That's very good. Now what you want to do is come back and let the barriers come to you a little bit. By the way, you could just kill the boss right now, but that's not within my pride right now. I'm killing these barriers because I want to. I'm an old school GM player, and my old school self says, no, you kill these barriers. Whether there's platinum rank or not, I'm not bothered, we kill them. And I'm just going to do that, because it doesn't take time to... Look at how quickly I'm killing them, right? So keep strafing as well. Keep strafing, because there's a barrier that's challenging us while I kill the other one. I've got a Transcendence. I could just pop that to kill him, actually. But I'm going to save it for boss damage, which... Either way, I could have done... Either way, it really didn't matter. Because, look, I'm just going to kill this barrier from me. I've debuffed him with Arcane Needle. And we're going to keep doing KT. 2 bow shots basically takes down my barrier champ's shield. And it will do. Then I'll go in with a bit of sword. And I'm looking for finisher kill. Looking for proc ward. There we go. See, whilst the boss is laying into me, the overshield proc ward will save all my health points. All of it. Because you get invulnerability frames with the proc ward overshield. Basically, that's exactly what it is. That's not the official description of what proc ward overshield finisher is, but that's essentially what it is in a natural sense. When you stun an overload or a barrier and you're weak HP, proc ward will stop you from dying for at least that second or two, which is very handy. I see not a lot of you using proc ward, and that's a mistake. Always be rocking proc ward in any GM conquest, always, because that's... You're always finishing champs, right? So the power of proc ward goes up. And it requires no armor charges. We pop a super here and a Transcendence. I'm just going to melt him. I'm going to have fun. Just going to kill him with the sword. Choir. All the stuff. Look at that. He's going down easy. So yeah, this was very, very easy on this. In actual fact, I think this was easier than Saber. This was actually easier than Saber for me. And I know a lot of you had a lot of trouble with Glassway. I think it's because you're lacking the knowledge on Glassway and this ad spawns and what you do and what you shouldn't do. Well, if you've watched this video, you know everything about this now. There's nothing that you don't know about it. That was the Solo GM Conquest for Glassway. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.